Hi, my name's Damon Marotti, and I'm with SoundOff Signal. Today, I'm here to talk to you about my new favorite product, the nFUSE XL Lightbar. Let's get into it. All right, so let's get down to the basics. What is the nFUSE XL? Well, it's a dual level light bar. And by dual level, I mean upper row, lower row. Each module position in each of those rows can be ordered with up to 2 different colors. So that means you can have some on top that are, say, red and white, some on the bottom that are red and amber. You can have a mixture, some red whites on the top, some red whites on the bottom, or you could just do, a very basic bar where it's all red around the whole thing. But because we allow you to have those multicolors in different positions, we also allow you to program the upper and lower light bar separately. So that means that you can have the upper light bar doing one function and the lower light bar doing another function. This is all done through SoundOff Central Lightbar. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, a little further into this video. The light bar is orderable with clear or colored domes, and it does come with an aluminum top cover. And it's a really good looking aluminum top cover. It really finishes the light bar off nicely. As with most of our light bars, you have the ability to order the bar with like provisions for blanks or empty positions. So if you wanted to order a, not full population light bar for, say, front facing modules only, you can do that. You can order it with nothing in the back, or you could put blanks in the back if you wanted to have something that has a little bit more visual appeal to it. The light bar comes standard with a hard coating. So that hard coating helps with ultraviolet protection and resistance, as well as abrasion. So from things like sand or dust that might be in the air or high winds. All right, before I jump into SoundOff Central to talk about some of the new features, I want to point out that there is some default programming that comes with this light bar. So what I'm about to show you, you don't necessarily have to do it. You have the option to do it. You can also change it. So if you wanted to take the default and make a couple tweaks to it, you can do that as well. But let's jump into the software. I'm going to show you a couple new features. The first one is there's a new bar, obviously, the nFUSE XL. Now, when you select this light bar, you're going to see a light bar that is different than every other light bar. It's got 2 different rows. The outer ring represents the upper row and the inner ring represents the lower row. Now, to aid in programming, we introduced this switch where it says both upper or lower, and that switch allows you to select or restrict a specific row from being selected. So if I have it in the both position, I can pick any module at any time. And like before, if I hold down Control, I can click multiple modules. And if I drag a box, I can do that as well. But if I put it into the upper or the lower, what happens is it restricts my selection. So now I can't select the lower boxes if I'm on the upper, and vice versa if I'm on the lower. So this allows for very rapid programming of the light bar. Just like you can with any other light bar, we could put this into the both position, drag a box around everything, assign your color right away to everything. Maybe we want to make some changes to just the lower to add some amber to the rear or something like that. So we can click the lower and notice how it deselects everything at that point that's upper. And we can assign the arrow function or something like that to the lowers. Now, when we jump into patterns in the pattern programming screen, there's a new feature in here, and that's called pre-configured phases. What pre-configured phases does is it automatically sets the light bar up for some new phase approaches. Traditionally, when we're looking at a pattern like slow runner, you get the left side, then the right side, then the left side, then the right side. But through these pre-configured phases, you could select something like in and out, and it will set that for you. And now when you turn the light bar on, you're going to get an inside-outside pattern going on. So the new phases are inside, outside, candy cane. There's a top-down X, which is basically an X pattern if you're looking at the top or looking at the bar from the top. So when the right front is on, the left rear is on, and vice versa. Now we also have a checkerboard, which is like candy cane, but it's made specifically for the nFUSE XL. And what it does is it does a candy cane pattern, but it's staggered. So the top row is going to have one candy cane pattern, and the bottom row will have the same pattern, but it's off by one module. So it gives you that checkerboard effect. And then finally, we have what's called the stack X, which is an X when you're looking at the bar from in front of it or from behind it. At the end of this video, there's a handful of examples and demonstrations with the light bar actually running, and you're more than welcome to jump ahead to view that. All right, so let's talk about tech specs. So you can order this light bar from 24 to 72 inches wide, and there's several intervals in between. And when you order a 72-inch light bar, you're getting 54 modules, each which can be single or dual color, and each one can have different color combinations. So you can get pretty crazy with your setup on this particular light bar. It operates at 10 to 32 volts, and it does come with a built-in photosensor as a standard option. So for those of you that don't know what a photosensor is, it's a sensor that's looking at ambient light in the air, like the sun, or telling the system that maybe it's dark out. So you can use that as a trigger within the software to do different things. So a lot of departments out there will trigger like low power functions at night, or maybe trigger different patterns, so slower patterns at night. That can all be done using a photosensor. Now each row of the light bar is isolated from the other. So the upper row and the lower row, those are both isolated. Power, the ground, the data wire, they each get their own. So what's that mean? Well, if something were to ever go wrong, maybe a fuse pops or something like that, it just takes the one row down and not the other. Or in the case of like if you're using Blueprint and you want to set up load shed, you can load shed the power to one row and not the other, bringing your amperage load for the system down. Great feature. The modules themselves internally are also fairly isolated. So if something were to go wrong with one module, because these are data-driven modules, the isolation protects the other modules within the light bar. Now, being that this is a newer light bar, it's going to come with our newest breakout box, the universal breakout box. The U-Bob uses two different channels, or it's going to utilize both channels for this particular light bar. And for those that are programming inside of Blueprint, SoundOff Central, specifically if you're using a 500 control system, you can put one light bar, or the upper row, let's say, set it up as a standard nFUSE on, say, channel 2, and you can set the other one up as a standard nFUSE on channel 1, and now you have ultimate control over the light bar as far as what's active and when. You can send and issue different light bar commands at different times. So that is a very cool feature of this light bar. All right, a couple more things. You can order the light bar with a quick connect. So if you wanted to have a quick disconnect, you can do that. You can also order it with preemption. And lastly, certifications. This light bar obviously has NFP certification. It also has Triple K, SAE, California Title 13, and last but not least, CISPR 25. So as I promised earlier, here is a video showing all the new phases and how they work. And I also threw in a handful of bar patterns where I've got the upper bar doing a different pattern than the lower bar. If you see something you like, I've actually got each one of these showing which patterns are active and at what time. So if you wanted to set it up yourself, you can do that. Okay, pretty cool, huh? So I'm only showing you the tip of the iceberg on this light bar. You can do so much with this light bar, and you have so many different functions and features that you can utilize as part of the setting up the light bar, ordering the light bar, or anything else. You really need to get in front of one of these to see it, take a look at it, make the decision for yourself. I really think you're going to like it. So give your territory manager a call. If you don't know who your territory manager is, give us a call directly. The number's at the bottom of the screen. That'll put you in touch with our customer service department, and they can get you in touch with the right people. I really think you're going to like this product. I am very impressed by this product. So that's all I've got for today. Until next time.